Welcome Class 11 Biology enthusiasts. Today, we are diving into an essential process, urine formation, a cornerstone of how our bodies maintain balance. From simple filtration to complex hormonal controls, we'll explore how your kidneys work tirelessly. Get ready for a four-level journey, from easy basics to competitive insights, ensuring you master this vital topic for any ET. Ready to discover the simple steps of how your body makes urine? Let's start with the basics. Urine formation is your body's clever way of getting rid of unwanted waste. Your kidneys, those amazing bean-shaped organs, are the unsung heroes of this process. They act like super efficient filters, constantly cleaning your blood to remove toxins, excess salts, and water. This continuous cleaning is vital for keeping your body in perfect balance. It all happens within tiny structures called nephrons, the functional units of your kidneys. Let's break down urine formation into 3 easy steps. First, glomerular filtration. Imagine blood rushing into a fine sieve, the glomerulus pushing out water and small molecules like a coffee filter. Next, tubular reabsorption. Your body is smart. It reclaims useful stuff like glucose and most water from the filtered fluid, sending it back to your blood. Finally, tubular secretion. Any remaining waste or excess ions are actively dumped into the forming urine. What's left is urine, ready to be expelled. Time to test your understanding of the easy concepts. Pause the video, try answering these questions, and then check your knowledge. Now that we've got the basics down, let's zoom in and explore the intricate machinery behind urine formation. Our kidneys are packed with about 1 million tiny functional units called nephrons. Each nephron is a mini urine factory, starting with the renal corpuscle, which includes the glomerulus and Bowman's capsule, where the initial filtration takes place. The filtered fluid then travels through a long, winding renal tubule, which has several distinct parts, the PCT, loop of Henle, DCT, and finally the collecting duct. Each segment is specially designed to modify the filtrate. The first critical step is glomerular filtration. Blood enters the glomerulus, a dense network of capillaries, under high pressure. This pressure, called glomerular hydrostatic pressure, is the main force driving filtration. It's opposed by 2 other pressures, Bowman's capsule hydrostatic pressure and blood colloid osmotic pressure. The net effect is the net filtration pressure, which pushes water and small solutes out of the blood and into Bowman's capsule, forming the glomerular filtrate. An impressive 180 liters of this filtrate is formed daily, known as GFR. After filtration, the filtrate undergoes fine-tuning through reabsorption and secretion. In the proximal convoluted tubule, most useful substances like glucose, amino acids, and a large portion of water and electrolytes are reabsorbed back into the blood. The loop of Henle is crucial for concentrating urine, primarily by reabsorbing water in its descending limb and salts in its ascending limb. Finally, the distal convoluted tubule and collecting duct perform conditional reabsorption and active secretion of substances like H+ and K+ to maintain the body's electrolyte and acid-base balance. Great job understanding the medium-level details. Here are some practice questions to solidify your knowledge. Take your time, think through the answers, and see how well you've grasped these concepts. Ready to dive deeper into the sophisticated control mechanisms that govern urine formation? Let's go! Maintaining a stable GFR is vital, and your kidneys have brilliant ways to regulate it. There's autoregulation, where the kidneys adjust themselves. The myogenic mechanism makes afferent arterioles constrict if blood pressure rises too much, protecting the glomerulus. Then there's tubuloglomerular feedback, where the JGA, specifically the macula densa cells, monitors the filtrate in the DCT. If GFR is too high, it signals to constrict the afferent arteriole, slowing down filtration. This ensures GFR stays remarkably constant despite fluctuations in overall blood pressure. The ability to produce concentrated urine is a masterpiece of physiology, thanks to the countercurrent mechanism. This involves the loop of Henle and the vasa recta, working in concert to create a steep osmotic gradient in the kidney medulla. The loop of Henle acts as a countercurrent multiplier. Its descending limb is permeable to water, while the ascending limb actively pumps out salts. The vasa recta, a countercurrent exchanger, then preserves this gradient by exchanging water and solutes in opposite directions, preventing the washout of the precious medullary concentration. Hormones play a pivotal role in the final fine-tuning of urine. ADH, or vasopressin, makes the collecting ducts more permeable to water, leading to more water reabsorption and concentrated urine. When blood pressure drops, the renin-angiotensin-aldosterone system, or RAS, kicks in. Renin initiates a cascade, leading to angiotensin II, which constricts blood vessels and triggers aldosterone release. Aldosterone then promotes sodium and water reabsorption, boosting blood volume and pressure. Conversely, ANP is released when blood volume is high, promoting sodium and water excretion, thus lowering blood pressure. You've tackled some complex concepts. Now, challenge yourself with these hard-level practice questions. Apply your analytical skills and connect the different regulatory mechanisms we've discussed. Welcome to the deepest dive. Prepare to unravel the most intricate details and competitive insights into urine formation, crucial for your NEET success. The cellular landscape of the renal tubules is a hub of activity. In the PCT, cells are packed with mitochondria, fueling active transport processes like the Na plus K plus ATPase, which drives the reabsorption of essential nutrients. Secondary active transport mechanisms, like Na plus glucose cotransporters, ensure almost all filtered glucose is reclaimed. Water follows passively through aquaporin channels, driven by osmotic gradients. Furthermore, the reabsorption of bicarbonate ions, facilitated by carbonic anhydrase, is critical for maintaining the body's acid-base balance. Even the leakiness of tight junctions plays a role in paracellular transport. The kidney's ability to produce highly concentrated urine hinges on the remarkable medullary osmotic gradient, which can reach up to 1 to 0.0 mmol L. A major contributor to this gradient is urea cycling. Urea, initially filtered, is reabsorbed in the PCT, then secreted back into the loop of Henle, effectively recycling it. Crucially, in the inner medullary collecting duct, urea is reabsorbed via specialized urea transporters, adding significantly to the interstitial osmolarity. This recycled urea accounts for up to half of the total medullary gradient, profoundly impacting water reabsorption and concentration. Without efficient urea recycling, the kidney's concentrating power would be severely compromised. Understanding urine formation is critical for clinical diagnosis. In diabetes mellitus, unchecked glucose levels overwhelm the PCT's transport maximum, leading to glucose in urine and osmotic diuresis, causing polyuria and polydipsia. Diabetes insipidus, on the other hand, involves either a lack of ADH or kidneys unresponsive to it, resulting in massive volumes of dilute urine and severe dehydration. Renal failure, a broader term, signifies a decline in GFR and tubular function, leading to a dangerous buildup of waste products and electrolyte imbalances, often necessitating life-sustaining treatments like dialysis or transplantation. Renal clearance is a powerful concept in nephrology, representing the volume of plasma cleared of a substance per unit time. It's a key tool for measuring GFR, using substances like inulin, which is freely filtered but neither reabsorbed nor secreted. Comparing a substance's clearance to GFR tells us if it's primarily reabsorbed or secreted. This concept is fundamental to drug elimination. The kidneys are major players in clearing drugs from the body, with factors like protein binding, GFR, and active tubular secretion dictating their half-life. Precise dosage adjustments based on renal function are vital to prevent drug toxicity, especially in patients with kidney impairment. You've absorbed a wealth of advanced knowledge. Now, Let's put it to the ultimate test. Here are your first 5 challenging questions designed to probe your deepest understanding of urine formation. Keep pushing your limits. Here are the remaining 5 questions, delving into the most intricate and clinically relevant aspects of urine formation. Analyze, synthesize, and demonstrate your mastery. And that wraps up our in-depth exploration of urine formation. We've journeyed from the basics to the most advanced concepts, equipping you with comprehensive knowledge for any ET. Remember, continuous learning is key. For more such engaging and detailed educational content, make sure to visit synapse.omaps.in. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, and subscribe to our channel for regular updates. Keep studying smart, and we'll see you in the next session.